Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And in the last video, we have seen how to install the prerequisites required for our React Native project with Expo. And you have seen we have already installed the Node.js as well the Expo CLI. And in this video, we are going to create our first React Native application. And to do that, let's just first go to Expo Go and head over to the website. Okay, now as you see here, we have the Expo, and Expo basically is an application that's developed by Expo so that you can run your application live on your physical device during the development process. And here you see we have different versions of SDKs available, and the latest one is SDK 53. And you can install Expo on your Android device as well on your iOS. So on Android, you are likely to find it on Play Store, and on iOS, you can go to Apple Store and type Expo. As well, you can also install this on your emulator, and this is way easier for you to develop the application. And there is another option also. If you don't want to go with Expo, then there is this development build, and development build is basically for native project. If you want to build a solid Android app, then you'll have to go with the development build or a native iOS. And for Expo, it's for cross-platform. That means you can develop an app that runs both on iOS as well Android. So let's just head over to the documentation. And the documentation is going to give you a roadmap about this stack called Expo and how to create the Expo application. You see here we have the command, and through this command we'll create our application, and it will give you a brief, not just brief, but a whole roadmap of how to create an application using Expo, like creating the project or setting up your environment and navigation, user interfaces, development builds, config files, and how to debug, and everything is provided here. So let's just copy this command and head over to our code editor. For my case, I am using Visual Studio Code, and just open it. Okay, now you open the terminal and paste the command. So once you paste the command, it's going to create an Expo project, and shortly it will ask for the application name, and I will have to provide that. After providing the name, it's going to give us a folder for our project with all the required dependencies. Let's just give it a few seconds, and we shall see the project folder will be ready. Okay, it's asking me for the application name, so I'll just say my Expo app and hit enter. As you can see here, there is a project folder called my Expo app created, and you have so many other subfolders like the components, the constants, and all that. So let's just give it few minutes. It's installing the dependencies here. Okay, now the project is successfully created, and as you can see here, we have a number of commands that we can run. We have the cd my expo that is to navigate to the root directory of the project, and then npm run android. I'm not going to use that command unless I am building a native Android phone. As well, for iOS, you run npm run iOS. And let me just clear this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of all these folders. I don't need them, constant components and all that stuff. So we do that by simply typing the command npm run reset project, hit enter. Okay, I think the issue is that I did not navigate to the root directory, so I'll just type cd my expo app. Okay, now I have navigated to the root directory and run that command. It's saying, do you want to move existing files to app example instead of deleting them? I don't need these files honestly, so I'll just click on no. And as you can see here, if you observe, all these files are deleted and you can see them here. All these files have been deleted and the folders as well. So now let's clear the terminal and run our project by typing npx expo start. So this will start the Metro bundler. So it's starting the Metro bundler. Okay, so this is the Metro bundler, and as I've told you, we have the Expo application or Expo Go application, and through that application, you can run your project live on your physical device. Once you install the Expo application, you just have to scan this QR code, and you will be able to see your project running live on your physical device. Or else there is another option, and the first one is if you press on A, it will open your Android emulator. You can also display your project live on Android emulator if you have emulator installed. Or you can also hit W on your keyboard and it will open the web browser. You can also see your project live on web browser. So I'm just going to hit A to open my Android emulator. Okay, you see my Android emulator is starting, and here is the emulator. I think there is an issue. Let me just try once more. Uh, so if I just open this file, you have this one as layout, and this layout is basically for navigation, and this is for stack navigation. And stack navigation is movement from one screen to another. And if I show you this index.tsx is the root entry for our project. Okay, it's asking me Expogo 2.33 is recommended for SDK 53. Okay, that means the application that I already have on my emulator is outdated and I have to update it to be compatible with SDK 53. So I'll just click on Y and it will uninstall the previous one and install a new one. So I have the project by default, it's in TypeScript. And if you want to use JavaScript, you can just rename it to layout.jsx instead of tsx. And similarly here, you just rename the extension to JSX instead of tsx. And TypeScript is basically a superset of JavaScript. So meaning most of the programs or 99% of the JavaScript programs work perfect with TypeScript. So it's just like the relationship between C and C++. If you write 99% of the code in C, they work perfect in C++. So that's a similar case here. And if you see here on the terminal, it's downloading the Expogo application to this emulator. And let me show you one more thing about the emulator, how to install it. So what you will have to do is go to the setup your environment. So it's asking where would you like to develop. So we recommend using a real device to develop. Okay, no issue. You can use emulator and you can use real device also. But the issue sometimes when you're dealing with the front end, the rendering will be different from device to device. It can be perfect on emulator and on your device it's not going to render properly, or vice versa. But I recommend that you do both if you're comfortable with that. So what you have to do if you're running it on Windows, you have to download Android Studio, go to the official page. Okay, this is Android Studio web page, and just go there and download the Android Studio and install it. After installation, you can just come back to this page here. Okay, once you come back to this page here, you have the Android. Come to Android emulator and click on it. So once you click on Android emulator, it's going to give you the step by step of setting up the emulator, and I will leave the link for that in the description. Okay, perfect. It's here. Set up an Android emulator with Expo Go. If you are running on Mac OS, you have to follow this instruction. Or if you are doing it on Windows, then you have to switch to Windows here and follow all these instructions to get you started. So by following this instruction, you will be able to install the emulator successfully on your device. So let me just head back to VS Code and see if the application is installed on my emulator, and it's still in the process installing Expo Go on Pixel 9 Pro. Okay. If you see here, we have the Expo Go installed, and let it just complete first. Okay, as you can see, the application is successfully installed and it's opening. Okay, if you see here on the terminal, it's bundling the files, and my project or the app name is here, my Expo app, if you see on the emulator. Okay, also I forgot to tell you, if you want to switch to the native build, then you have to press S and it will take you to development build. Okay, perfect. As you can see, the application is now running live, and whatever is in the root entry of the main entry of the application is also displayed on the emulator successfully. If you just see here, whatever which is here, it's displayed there. Okay, let's just make a few modifications to the content of this text component, and let's say welcome to React Native, and you should see it is updated here live. And let's go on and style it a bit by giving some styles. Maybe give it a font size of 20, and boom, you see here this font size has been increased. Let's give it some more stylings, and let's say color is blue. Perfect, the color is blue. And you can also control the positioning by this. We will be looking into all that one by one, all the properties. So I just cut this, and you should see this one has moved here, right? If you justify the content to the center, it will come down here. And if you align the item center, it will be at the center. And by that, we have created our first React Native application and run successfully. See you in the next video.